Hello students, welcome to my channel Halla Bol Physics. Okay, today we will discuss the numericals of expansion of a solid. Expansion of a solid. Yes, first question we have taken on the board here. There are two spheres, one hollow and another solid. One sphere is hollow, another is solid. Both are made of same material, same radius, same material, same radius, and both are heated to the same temperature. Both are heated to the same temperature. Then the expansion will be more in. Expansion will be more in solid sphere, hollow sphere, same in both, or insufficient information. Okay, how to solve the question in a class now here? We have taken two diagrams on the board here. Is a diagram of hollow sphere, is a diagram of solid sphere. Yes, its radius is r, its radius is also r. Why radius is taken as same? Because both having same radius. Both sphere having same radius. What does it mean by same radius? If radius is same, their initial volume will also be same. Their initial volume will also be same. So initial volume of hollow sphere is equal to initial volume of solid sphere is supposed to be taken as V naught. Is supposed to be taken as V naught. Now both spheres are heated. Both spheres are heated. If both spheres are heated, what will be the final volume of hollow sphere and what will be the final volume of solid sphere? We can take first in a class here. Yes, tell me now, what is final volume of hollow sphere? That is equal to initial volume of hollow sphere into 1 plus gamma into delta t. 1 plus gamma into delta t. So this is the final volume of hollow sphere. In the same way, we can find out the final volume of solid sphere. Final volume of a solid sphere. So final volume of solid sphere is equal to initial volume of solid sphere into 1 plus gamma into delta t. 1 plus gamma into delta t. Now question is arising here. Here it is gamma, it is also gamma. Reason simple, both spheres are made of same material. Both spheres are made of same material. Material same means gamma will be same. Material same means gamma will be same. Now one more question is arising. Here it is delta t, it is also delta t. Reason simple, both spheres are heated to the same temperature. Both spheres are heated to the same temperature. So delta t of the hollow sphere will be equal to delta t of a solid sphere. So this is the final volume of hollow sphere, is the final volume of a solid sphere. Now we can simplify this relation. What is final volume of hollow sphere minus initial volume of hollow sphere is equal to initial volume of hollow sphere into gamma into delta t. Into gamma into delta t. Now here final volume of solid sphere minus initial volume of solid sphere is equal to initial volume of solid sphere into gamma into delta t. As you know all students here, initial volume of hollow sphere is equal to initial volume of solid sphere is supposed to be taken as V naught. Is supposed to be taken as V naught. Now what is this here is a change in volume of hollow sphere. Here is a change in volume of a solid sphere. So what is change in volume of a hollow sphere is equal to this value is V naught into gamma into delta t, and here change in volume of a solid sphere is equal to it is also V naught into gamma into delta t. Now this is known as increase in volume of hollow sphere. Here is the increase in volume of solid sphere. Here it is V naught, it is also V naught. Volume is same. Initial volume of hollow sphere is equal to initial volume of solid sphere because both having same radius. Radius is same. Initial volume of the both will also be same. It is gamma, it is also gamma because both are made of same material. Both spheres are made of same material. Here it is delta t, it is also delta t because both spheres are heated to the same temperature. So the right hand side factor, here it is V naught gamma delta t, it is also V naught gamma delta t, which is same, So this is the increase in volume of hollow sphere. Here is the increase in volume of solid sphere. Increase in volume of hollow sphere is equal to increase in volume of solid sphere. So what will be the answer of our question? Yes, expansion will be same in both, will be same in both. Now the next question, there are two spheres, one hollow and another solid. Both are made of same material, same radius and same heat is given to the both sphere. Then the expansion will be more in. Yes, solid sphere, hollow sphere, same in both, last insufficient information. Okay, before starting question, the difference should be clear in between the previous question and this question. In the previous question, both spheres are heated to the same temperature. Both spheres are heated to the same temperature, and in this question, same heat is given to the both sphere. So in the previous question, same temperature is given, and in this question, same heat is given. Same heat is given. Now we can start our question. We have taken two diagrams on the board here. Is the diagram of hollow sphere, is the diagram of a solid sphere. You know, specific heat capacity C is equal to delta Q by mass of a hollow sphere into delta T of a hollow sphere. C is equal to delta Q by mass of hollow sphere into delta T of a hollow sphere, and for solid sphere C is equal to delta Q by mass of a solid sphere into delta T of a solid sphere. Now, C is the specific heat capacity. What is C is the specific heat capacity? How to define specific heat capacity? Is the amount of heat required. Is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature. To raise the temperature of 1 gram of substance. 1 gram of substance through 1 degree Celsius. Through 1 degree Celsius. So this is the value of specific heat capacity. Here is also specific heat capacity. Now should be clear here. Here specific heat is C. It is also C. Even here is hollow sphere, here is a solid sphere. Why specific heat is same of both hollow sphere and solid sphere? Because both are made of same material. Both are made of same material. Same material means same specific heat. Same material means same specific heat. Now delta Q of hollow sphere is equal to delta Q of solid sphere. What is the reason behind it here? Simple. Same heat is given to the both sphere. Same heat is given to the both sphere. So delta Q of hollow sphere is equal to delta Q of solid sphere. Mass will not be same because one is hollow sphere, another is solid sphere. So this is the mass of hollow sphere, is the mass of solid sphere, is the delta T of hollow sphere, is the delta T of solid sphere. Now, from this relation, it is clear here, specific heat is constant. What is the specific heat is constant. Now here delta Q is also constant. Delta Q is also constant. So with the help of these two relations, it is clear here, delta T will be inversely proportional to mass. Delta T of hollow sphere is inversely proportional to mass of hollow sphere. Delta T of hollow sphere is inversely proportional to mass of hollow sphere. And from here delta T of solid sphere is inversely proportional to mass of a solid sphere. Mass of a solid sphere. Now, with the help of these two relations, it is clear now. With the help of these two relations, it is clear now. Delta T is inversely proportional to mass. Delta T is inversely proportional to mass. And we know here, mass of solid sphere is more than mass of hollow sphere. Mass of a solid sphere is more than mass of a hollow sphere. More will be the mass, less will be the change in temperature. Less will be the mass, more will be the change in temperature. So change in temperature will be more of hollow sphere than that of a solid sphere. So what we can take it here, delta T of a hollow sphere will be more than delta T of solid sphere, will be more than that of delta T of a solid sphere. Now everybody know in a class here, delta V is directly proportional to delta T. Delta V is directly proportional to delta T. More change in temperature, more will be the change in volume. Less change in temperature, less will be the change in volume. Change in temperature is more of hollow sphere. So change in volume will be more of a hollow sphere. Change in temperature is less of solid sphere. So change in volume will be less of a solid sphere. So what we can take ultimately, delta V of a hollow sphere will be more than delta V of a solid sphere. Will be more of a hollow sphere than that of a solid sphere. So what will be the answer of a question here? Yes, it is a hollow sphere. Okay, now the next question. A disc has a hole of diameter 1.5 centimeter at 20 degrees Celsius. Then the diameter of a hole of a disc when heated to 150 degrees Celsius is. Okay, we have taken two diagrams from the board here now. These are the diagram of a disc. Both are the diagram of a disc. Is a diagram of a disc at a temperature 20 degrees Celsius, and this is the diagram of a disc at temperature 150 degree Celsius. This is the hole of a disc at 20 degrees Celsius. We can say this is the initial diameter of a hole of a disc at temperature 20 degrees Celsius, and this is the final diameter of a hole of a disc at temperature 150 degree Celsius. So here is the initial diameter of hole of disc. This is the final diameter of hole of a disc. Now we can take the question here. Then the diameter of a hole of a disc when heated to 150 degrees Celsius is increases by or decreases by. It must be clear in a class here. Increases by, decreases by, changes by, heated by, cooled by, raised by means change in dimension, change in dimension. So if it is mentioned by, what mention? By means change, by means change. If it is mentioned increases to, decreases to, changes to, heated to, cooled to, raised to means final dimension, 2 means final dimension. So clearly mentioned in the options here, increases by or decreases by. It means not asking the diameter at 150 degrees Celsius. I repeat again, not asking the diameter of a hole of a disc at 150 degrees Celsius. What is asking? The change in diameter of a hole of a disc, change in diameter of a hole of a disc at 150 degrees Celsius. Final diameter of a hole of a disc is d is equal to initial diameter of a hole of a disc is d naught into 1 plus alpha into delta t, alpha into delta t. That relation we discussed already in a class here. So d is equal to d naught into 1 plus alpha into delta t is the initial diameter of a hole of a disc, is the final diameter of a hole of a disc. Now it must be clear again in a class, not asking the diameter of a hole of a disc at 150 degrees Celsius. What is asking? Change in diameter of a hole of a disc at 150 degrees Celsius. What is d is equal to d naught plus d naught alpha into delta t. What is d minus d naught is the increase in diameter, is the increase in diameter of the hole of a disc at 150 degree Celsius, and it is d naught alpha into delta t. So this d minus d naught is nothing but as increase in diameter of hole of disc is equal to d naught into alpha into delta t. So this is the required part of the question. What is the increase in diameter of a hole of a disc at 150 degree Celsius? It will come with the help of this relation. D naught is equal to given, yes, at 20 degrees Celsius. What is the diameter of hole of a disc is 1.5 centimeter. So initial diameter of a hole of a disc is 1.5. Alpha is equal to given 1.9 into 10 to the power minus 5, and what is change in temperature is 150 minus 20, 150 minus 20, it is 130, 130. You may solve this relation. Delta D will come nearly 0.004 centimeter, and this value will not become negative. This value is coming positive. This value is coming positive. Positive means increases by E, negative means decreases by E. So this value will not become negative, this value will come positive. Positive means increases by E. So what may be the possible answer of our question? Increases by 0.004 centimeter. Okay, now the next question is, if the volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18% when heated to 20 degrees Celsius, then the coefficient of linear expansion is. There are 4 options are given on the board here. Okay, how to start our question? Yes, we know one relation which we discussed already in a class here. Which relation? Delta V by V naught into 100. This is equal to gamma delta T into 100. 100. That relation we discussed already in a class here. What is delta V by V naught into 100 is the percentage change in volume, is the percentage change in volume. Gamma is the coefficient of cubical expansion. Delta T is the change in temperature. Delta T is the change in temperature. Now what is given part of the question, we can check it now. If the volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18%, yes, volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18% means this is the percentage change in volume, is the percentage change in volume. So percentage change in volume is how much given? 0.18. 0.18 is equal to gamma into delta T into 100. Gamma into delta T into 100. Now, is it delta T is given or not? We can check from the question. We can check from the question. If the volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18% when heated to 20 degrees Celsius, heated to 20 degrees Celsius. Now, many of the students, they may do mistake at this place. They put the value of delta T is 20 degrees Celsius. So, this is our mistake here. Delta T is not 20 degrees Celsius. As I discussed with you in a class here, yes, increases by, decreases by, changes by, heated by, cooled by, raised by means change in dimension, change in dimension. And if it is mentioned increases to, decreases to, changes to, heated to, raised to, cooled to means final dimension, final dimension. So clearly mentioned heated to 20 degree Celsius. So this is the final dimension. So this is the final dimension, or we can say is the final temperature, is the final temperature. So it must be clear here, change in temperature is not given, final temperature is given. What is given? Final temperature. What is delta T? Is always T final minus T initial. So we can write the relation 0.18 is equal to gamma into T final minus T initial into 100. So final temperature is given. What is given? Final temperature, and the value of the final temperature is 20 degree Celsius. So this value we can put here, 0.18 is equal to gamma into it is 20 minus T initial into 100. Yes, you know all students here, initial temperature is not given. Initial temperature is not given. So there is a one relation, two unknown. One relation, two unknown. We cannot solve our question here. So datas are not sufficient. Datas are not sufficient. So due to insufficient information, we are not able to solve this question in a class here. So the answer of a question is insufficient information. Insufficient information. Now the next question is, if the volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18% when heated by 20 degrees Celsius, then the coefficient of linear expansion is, again there are four options are given on the board here. Now how to solve the question? We can take first relation in a class here, delta V by V naught into 100, this is equal to gamma delta T into 100. This is the required relation by which we can solve our question. That relation we already discussed in a class here. You know, delta V by V naught into 100 is the percentage change in volume. Percentage change in volume. Gamma is the coefficient of cubical expansion, and delta T is the change in temperature. Is the change in temperature. You know, percentage change in volume is given clearly in the question. If the volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18%, so percentage change in volume is given 0.18%. So this value is 0.18. 0.18. Gamma is unknown value into delta T. Into delta T. You know, delta T is the change in temperature. Is it given or not? Again we can check from the question. If the volume of a cubical body increases by 0.18% when heated by 20 degrees Celsius, clearly mention heated by 20 degrees Celsius, increases by, decreases by, changes by, heated by, cooled by, raised by means change in dimension, change in dimension, increases to, decreases to, changes to, heated to, cooled to, raised to means final dimension, final dimension. So clearly mention heated by, heated by means change, by means change. So no doubt here is not a final temperature given. What is given? Change in temperature. What is given? Change in temperature. Its value is 20 degrees Celsius. So delta T is given 20 degree Celsius. This value we can put here. It is 20 degrees Celsius into 100 into 100. It must be clear here. Change in temperature remains same. Change in temperature remains same. Either it is on Celsius scale or on Kelvin scale or on Kelvin scale. So delta T is equal to given 20 degrees Celsius. It is also equal to 20 Kelvin. It is also equal to 20 Kelvin. Change in temperature remains same. Change in temperature remains same. Either it is on Celsius scale or on Kelvin scale. So this is 20 degrees Celsius, or we can say it is 20 Kelvin. It is 20 Kelvin into 100. Now we can solve this relation. After solving, gamma will come 9 into 10 to the power minus 5 per degree Celsius. So this is the value of gamma. But what is asking part of the question? Not asking gamma. What is asking? Alpha. What is the coefficient of linear expansion is? Alpha is asking, not asking gamma. Yes, you know all students here. Gamma is equal to 3 alpha. Gamma is equal to 3 alpha. So this value we can put here. It is 3 alpha is equal to 9 into 10 to the power minus 5 per degree Celsius. After solving, you will get the value of alpha. Alpha will come 3 into 10 to the power minus 5 per degree Celsius. So this is the answer of our question here. Yes, it is 3 into 10 to the power minus 5 per degree Celsius. Now the next question is, two rods of lengths L1 and L2 of different materials of expansivities alpha 1 and alpha 2. If the change in temperature delta T produces equal change in their length, then L1 by L1 plus L2 will be. Four options are given on the board here. Now we have to solve our question. Suppose we are taking two diagrams on the board here. These are the diagram of the two rods. These are the diagram of the two rods. This rod having initial length L1, their coefficient of linear expansion alpha 1. Now this next rod having initial length L2, their coefficient of linear expansion alpha 2. Now, due to change in temperature delta T, there will be the change in length. There will be the change in length. So, what is the change in length of the first rod? What is the change in length of the first rod is, suppose delta L1 is equal to L1 alpha 1 into delta T. L1 alpha 1 into delta T. Now, what is change in length of the second rod is delta L2 is equal to L2 alpha 2 into delta T. It must be clear here. Here change in temperature delta T. Here it is also delta T. Reason simple, clearly mention. If the change in temperature is delta T, so delta T is given as same for the both rod. For the both rod. So it is delta T. It is also delta T. This is the change in length of the first rod. Is the change in length of the second rod. Now what is one more part is given in the question. If the change in temperature delta T produces equal change in their length, produces equal change in their length. So change in length of the first rod is equal to change in length of the second rod, and it is given. It is given. So we can take it here. Change in length of the first rod is equal to change in length of the second rod, and this is given part of the question. Is given part of the question. Now we can put the value of delta L1 here and of delta 2 here. It will come L1 alpha 1 into delta T is equal to L2 alpha 2 into delta T. Delta T cancel. Delta T cancel. Now the coming relation L1 by L2 is equal to alpha 2 by alpha 1. Alpha 2 by alpha 1. So L1 by L2 is equal to coming alpha 2 by alpha 1. Or we can write L2 by L1 is equal to alpha 1 by alpha 2. Alpha 1 by alpha 2. But it should be clear here, not asking L2 by L1. What is asking? L1 by L1 plus L2. L1 by L1 plus L2. So how to convert this relation into the required relation? Simple. We can add 1 on the both side. We can add 1 on the both side. It will come L2 by L1 plus 1 is equal to alpha 1 by alpha 2 plus 1. So we are adding 1 on the both side. Both side. Now after simplification, it will come L2 plus L1 by L1 is equal to alpha 1 plus alpha 2 by alpha 2. So after solving, this is converting into this relation. But again, this is not asking here. Asking part is L1 by L1 plus L2. So we can convert into this. L1 by L1 plus L2 is equal to alpha 2 by alpha 1 plus alpha 2. So this is the required part of the question. L1 by L1 plus L2 will become equal to alpha 2 by alpha 1 plus alpha 2. So what may be the right answer of our question is alpha 2 by alpha 1 plus alpha 2. Now the next question is AB, BC and CD are the three rods of equal lengths. They are joined as shown in figure. Diagram is given on the board here. The coefficient of linear expansion of each rod AB and AC is alpha 2. Yes, AB and AC both are made of same material. Their coefficient of linear expansions are same. It is alpha 2, it is also alpha 2. While that of rod BC, this is the rod BC, is made of coefficient of linear expansion alpha 1. D is the midpoint of BC. This D is the midpoint of BC. If the distance AD, this distance AD remains constant for increase in temperature, means AD does not change with rise in temperature. Then what is the relation in between alpha 1 and alpha 2? So what we have to find out here, what should be the relation in between alpha 1 and alpha 2 if AD does not change with rise in temperature. How to solve the question we will take in a class now here. Okay, we have taken two diagrams on the board here. This is the diagram before rise in temperature, is the diagram after rise in temperature. Now, according to the question, length of AB is equal to length of AC is equal to length of BC is supposed to be L naught. D is the midpoint of BC, it is given. So if D is the midpoint of BC, length of BC is L naught. It means length of BD will be L naught by 2. Now, in a question is clearly mentioned AB and AC both are made of same material. Of coefficient of linear expansion alpha 2 and BC is made of coefficient of linear expansion alpha 1. So this is the diagram we are taking on the board here before rise in temperature. Here is the diagram after rise in temperature. Now after rise in temperature, length of AB will be equal to length of AC is supposed to be L2. Here it is L2, it is also L2. So why it is length is same L2 and L2? Because AB and AC both are made of same material. So length increases in the same amount. So initially this length is L naught. Finally length will become L2. Initially length of BC is L naught. Finally length of BC will become L1. But again D is the midpoint of BC. So if this length is L1, length of BD will become L1 by 2. Now what is the difference in between these two diagrams? Initially is a diagram of an equilateral triangle. Finally will become a diagram of isosceles triangle. triangle, so is a diagram of equilateral triangle, is a diagram of isosceles triangle. Before rise in temperature it will be an equilateral triangle, after rise in temperature it will become an isosceles triangle. Now, in a question is mentioned with increase in temperature, AD remains same. AD remains same. So, AD before rise in temperature that must be equal to AD after rise in temperature according to the question. According to the question, AD before rise in temperature that must be equal to AD after rise in temperature, and that part we will take in a class now here. So, we will have to find out first AD before rise in temperature and AD after rise in temperature. Both AD we can equate, both AD before rise in temperature will be equated by AD after rise in temperature. So what is AD before rise in temperature? AD before rise in temperature is equal to root over by Pythagoras theorem. What is the value of AD is equal to root over AB square minus BD square. So root over AB square minus BD square. So here it is root over AB square minus BD square by Pythagoras theorem. Now we can simplify root over AB square. AB square means it is L naught square minus what is BD is equal to L naught by 2 whole square. Now we can simplify, this value will become equal to root over 3L naught square by 4. So this is the value of AD is coming before rise in temperature, before rise in temperature. Now we can find out AD after rise in temperature, AD after rise in temperature. So the value of AD, it is after rise in temperature, after rise in temperature, again by Pythagoras theorem. Yes, AD after rise in temperature will become equal to root over AB square minus BD square, root over AB square minus BD square. Now we can put the value of new AB length is L2. So this is equal to root over L2 square minus L1 by 2 whole square. Root over L2 square minus L1 by 2 whole square. There are two ADs coming on the board here. This is the AD after rise in temperature. Here is the AD before rise in temperature. Now according to the question, AD does not change. AD does not change with increase in temperature. So we can take AD before rise in temperature, AD before rise in temperature, that must be equal to AD after rise in temperature, after rise in temperature. So this should be clear in a class here. AD does not change with increase in temperature. So this is the AD before rise in temperature, here is AD after rise in temperature. Both are equating, both are equating. Now AD before rise in temperature is root over 3. It is L naught square by 4 is equal to what is AD after rise in temperature is equal to root over L2 square minus L1 by 2 square. So this is the AD before rise in temperature. Here is the AD after rise in temperature. Now squaring on both sides so that we can eliminate square root. We can eliminate square root. So it is 3L naught square by 4 is equal to, yes, it is L2 square minus L1 by 2 square. Now L1 by 2 is an unknown value, L2 is also unknown value here. So we can convert this L2 in terms of L0 and this L1 by 2 in terms of L0 by 2, in terms of L0 by 2. So take it now here. Tell me now first, what is L2 is equal to L0? L2 is equal to L0 into 1 plus alpha 2 into delta T. And what is L1 by 2 is equal to L0 by 2 into 1 plus alpha 1 into delta T. Now we can take the value of L2 and we can take the value of L1 by 2. What is L2 is equal to L0 into 1 plus alpha 2 into delta T, and L1 by 2 is equal to L0 by 2 into 1 plus alpha 1 into delta T. So we can take the values now here. It is 3 L0 square by 4 is equal to, what is L2 is equal to L0 into 1 plus alpha 2 into delta T. It is whole square. It is whole square minus L1 by 2 is L0 by 2 into 1 plus alpha 1 into delta t. Yes, it is whole square. Now we can simplify this relation here. Yes, it is 3 L0 square by 4 is equal to yes, it is L0 square into 1 plus this is in the form of binomial equation, is in the form of binomial equation 1 plus x to the power n is 1 plus nx. So we can simplify by binomial expansion. Yes, it is 1 plus 2 times of alpha 2 into delta t minus L0 by 2 into 1 plus alpha 1 delta t square. Simplify, it is L0 square by 4 into 1 plus in the form of binomial expansion 1 plus 2 times of alpha 1 into delta t. Now, yes, this L0 square will be cancelled. This is coming 3 by 4 is equal to 1 plus 2 times of alpha 2 into delta t minus 1 by 4 in bracket 1 plus 2 times of alpha 1 into delta t. Now we can simplify this relation. After simplification, you will get it here. Alpha 1 will come 4 times of alpha 2. Alpha will come 4 times of alpha 2, or alpha 2 is equal to alpha 1 by 4. Alpha 2 is equal to alpha 1 by 4. So it should be clear here. Yes, AD does not change with rise in temperature. AD does not change with rise in temperature. It is possible only whenever alpha 2 will be equal to alpha 1 by 4. So this is the right answer of our question.